Hello, and welcome to the Professional Pivot. I'm your host, Maggie Ruby. Welcome to our show. In past episodes, we have been talking extensively about the 2026 hiring market, with the focus being on a precision economy. And what I mean by that is that the hiring market hasn't frozen. Companies are now targeting key skills that fill critical hiring needs. Hence, a precision economy, therefore, precision hiring. So today, we will be focusing on 4 pillars that you need to use in your strategic approach to land your next career opportunity. This will help you ground your job approach into the reality of the 2026 economy. As always, and as you are listening, please add comments and questions, as your opinions are important to us. Then we can ensure we incorporate those topics into our future podcasts. So if you're ready, let's get started. For today's episode, I've pulled together specific data points, market research, and strategic frameworks to underpin our 4 pillars. Before I discuss the 4 pillars, I would like to set the stage a little bit and talk big picture just for a moment. First, I want to talk about the myth of a silver bullet. And secondly, I would like to talk about stability viewed through a macro lens. The myth of a silver bullet, or magic singular approach, or a one-size-fits-all tactic, or whatever you want to call it, will no longer work to land a job. We must shift to a precision-based and targeted multiple strategic approach. And that is necessitated by the current economic climate. As of the first of the year, the hiring market has transitioned from an expansion mode to a precision mode. As I mentioned at the beginning, this isn't a hiring freeze, but rather a precision hiring cycle where organizations are moving toward hiring targeted disciplines that will support their company's business objectives. In this environment, a single channel search strategy is no longer viable because every incremental hire is now subject to intense senior management scrutiny and must justify a very clear return on investment. Secondly, I would like to discuss why stability and consistency matters in your job search in 2026. The need for a stable, multi-channel approach is backed by the volatile headlines of early 2026. While the economy added 130,000 jobs in January of 2026, which sounds good, the majority of those jobs were in the healthcare sector. And then in February, the job report came out and it reflected a loss of 92,000 jobs. Furthermore, policy uncertainty regarding elevated tariffs and sticky inflation is causing senior leaders and hiring managers to be strategically cautious and think twice about their hiring momentum. So with that said, the 4 pillars you need to focus on to land your next career opportunity are 1, networking, 2, recruiters, 3, LinkedIn, and 4, job boards and aggregators. So a magic bullet would be to only utilize one of the pillars. Stability and consistency would be utilizing all of the 4 pillars simultaneously. So each pillar sounds pretty simple, right? And pretty straightforward. But let's add some additional dimension to each of them. Pillar 1, networking. Using networking to create your strategic identity and create your value proposition, your standout skills and uniqueness in your search efforts. Networking in 2026 is no longer about just checking in and talking shop. It's about utilizing your conversations to establish your strategic identity. Research shows that professionals must shift from identity as a title to identity as a value in order to build career leverage. Your identity is not your title. Your identity is your brand, who you are, how you define yourself, and your unique attributes that position you as a value add to a company. And your communications during your networking need to be crisp and succinct so your network understands your positioning. In other words, create your elevator pitch. This pillar is vital because in a cooling market, high impact roles are often found through relationships, often before they are even publicly scoped. I had a former boss once who was wildly successful, and she used to always say to me, Maggie, networking, networking, networking is the key to success. So get out there and make it happen. Pillar 2, recruiters. Partner with recruiters as strategic partners. Recruiters in 2026 are acting as a quality filter because in slower cycles, quality compounds faster than headcount does. Quality over quantity. Sources indicate that recruiters are prioritizing proven operators who can manage cost discipline and implement AI into the workflow over visionaries. So operators, doers, and people who can deliver over pie in the sky visionaries only. So I'm not saying not to be a big picture thinker. What I'm saying is a winning combination is someone who is both tactical and strategic. Be able to share with recruiters your substantiated successes. Talk the stats. I used to always say, let the numbers do the talking, or let the numbers tell a story. Using this pillar will allow you to gain talent intelligence. Understanding what companies are focusing on, i.e., their key business drivers, that will allow you to align your conversation and accomplishments to match their needs and be that standout candidate. You will also gain important market trends from recruiters to better position yourself in the overall market. Pillar 3, LinkedIn. Use LinkedIn as your narrative platform. This is a fun one. LinkedIn has evolved from a digital resume housing platform into a storytelling platform where your narrative must align with the must-win skills. Research into the 2026 market identifies 5 specific high-leverage capabilities that recruiters are looking for. And those skills are in AI implementation, pricing strategy, supply chain resilience, strategic finance, and change management. If you think about it, those are the exact skills that directly mirror the challenges in our current economy that companies are facing. Make sure your LinkedIn narrative translates how your skills speak to these markers. This will help you be a standout and play right into a company's return on investment. If you don't, it will be easy to become invisible to the modern AI and keyword resume screening systems. Make sure to tell your story that corresponds to your desired job description. Pillar 4, job boards and aggregators. This is the ever so important market intel. While job boards are often seen as a volume play, meaning the more you apply, the greater your chances of getting an interview. It often can work, but more often than not, it only proves to be a waste of your time and the time of the recruiter, especially if you are not genuinely qualified. There is a better way to strategically read the job market to your advantage based on job postings. The quantity, and this is important, the quantity of job postings in a certain sector or discipline can tell you a story about what is hot and what is not in the job market. And it will almost certainly directly tie to our current economic climate. So for instance, as of February of 2026, healthcare was a bright spot, while marketing and manufacturing and trade-exposed sectors were sluggish due to tariff pressures. Candidates should use this type of information, which I call talent intelligence, to identify where headcount is actually being deployed and in what regions, sectors, and disciplines are leading in hiring growth. So customize your story to mirror the demand in the marketplace. In closing, building and using the 4 pillars are critical in your resilience, alignment, and success in the job market. The more you target your story and brand to the job you want, the more you increase your success rate in landing your dream job. Ultimately, this 4-pillar approach will align you with what 2026 top performers value most: stability, mission clarity, and a long-term upside in your career. I hope you found this episode helpful, and I would like to thank you all for joining. Please have a great rest of your day. Until next time.